Once again, we're driving in Hampton, our camper van, and I haven't really talked much about our camper van. We've owned her for about 20 years plus. So I'll do a vlog, give you a bit of a van tour, and tell you about the story of how we purchased her and brought her back to the UK. Morning everyone, and welcome back to the vlog. It's a bit of a wet, dreary November day, so I'm back in the forest looking for some last remnants of autumnal colour, and probably the best place to come on a day like today. Keeps me sheltered under the trees, and we've still got some nice little bits of light coming through. And I'm also going to give you a little bit of a story of our camper van as promised, and the background, how we purchased her. But hopefully we'll also find some lovely images while we're out here. So, we go back to 1988 where one VW microbus was shipped from the docks of Southampton over to Canada and purchased by a dealership. And from then on, the camper van was known as Hampton. So I'm just capturing some of these lovely autumnal leaves from this birch by the side of me. Fairly simple composition. I'm just really using the colour to build the image. And we've got this lovely sort of very monochrome colour of trees behind, which really helps to punch out the leaves. So jumping a little bit forward in time, 2002, two very naive people who probably should have been purchasing a people carrier for their family of three children, decided that they would purchase a classic VW camper. So fortunately for me today, my forest has got a waterfall running through it, which obviously gives that advantage of I can swap images and concepts as I'm coming up through here. And I've come across this beautiful scene, which I've got the waterfall coming down the hill, and then just a little way down here we've got these lovely golden birches they're fairly young trees which are gathered down the bottom, but they just add that little splash of colour, which is really nice. There's not a lot of autumnal colour left. The wind's taken most of it out of the trees. So anyway, I'll show you on the camera what I'm looking at. So you can see on the back of my camera, I've just caught the bottom of the falls just coming into my image along the bottom here. And we've got the lights just coming in through the top left-hand side. So it's catching the trees in the background, which have now lost their leaves. So they've got this lovely sort of silver grey colour to them. And we've got this lovely arrangement of birches just separated with the waterfall coming down through the middle. I'm shooting on my 28-50 lens, and yeah, I think that will make a nice scene. Here's the image. Okay, different day, different location, but on with the story. So after spending a long time hunting in the UK for a suitable camper van, we soon realised that we weren't going to find one in the sort of condition that we were looking for, and we wanted something that was original and had been well loved by its previous owner. So we started looking further afield, and we found a couple online. One was this particular supposed barn find that too good to be true, and actually turned out it was too good to be true. The van actually never existed, and a few people had nearly been scammed by the person that was trying to sell this van that was never there. So we looked further afield, and we came across this lovely camper van that was in Vancouver, Canada, and we had some pictures sent to us from the owner. Lots of detail underneath and around the camper van, and it had a few dings and dents, all in the sort of right places, but it had obviously been well loved. And we thought, okay, so this could be the van, and probably the time to start looking into getting it shipped over, how much it would cost, and all the details and information that we would need. So after several emails, lots of photographs, we decided that this was the van for us. And we started looking into shipping and how we were going to get it back into the UK. Unfortunately, the current owner, John, was quite excited about the fact that Hampton, his camper van, was going to be going back to the UK. So his enthusiasm and our enthusiasm meant that it was going to happen. We contacted the shipping company, got prices and information. But we just came across one snag, and that was that the transporter that was going to be picking up the camper van was not going to be able to get to Vancouver. It would only be able to get as far as Seattle. But fortunately, our very enthusiastic current owner was more than happy to drive Hampton across the border into Seattle, as long as we could give him a bit of money for the petrol. And he said he was going to enjoy the last drive that he was going to get in it, so everything was going to work out well. It was going to take around 6 weeks for the campervan to be shipped to Felixstowe in the UK. And yeah, that 6 weeks was going to be a long wait. So while we were waiting for the campervan to be arriving in Felixstowe, we started looking into getting it registered, getting a UK number plate onto the van. And when we contacted the DVLC in the UK, we found out that the number plate that it was originally on, obviously they looked up at the VIN number and everything, it was still available, and we were going to be able to have it put back on the same registration number plate, which was great. So all we had to do now was wait for the van to arrive in Felixstowe. And it was a long wait. So eventually we get a call from the shippers to say that it's arrived in Felixstowe and can be picked up. Hopped on a train, and when it arrived just in time to see the campervan being taken off the container. And the gentleman who went into the container looked at me and said, "You do realise that there's 4 flat tyres on this vehicle?" But he did have a little bit of a smile on his face, and fortunately it was obviously his sense of humour for the day, and just added to the excitement, I suppose, of getting the campervan. And when it rolled off, I would have to say that we knew there were going to be scratches and a few dings and things, but you'd never quite prepared. And as lovely as it was, there was definitely some work that was going to be doing to it along the line. But it was obviously well loved and well looked after, so and was going to give us a lot of fun. So one of the things that I haven't mentioned is that when I was young, probably around about 2 or 3 years old, my parents owned a 1966 VW split screen campervan in Velvet Green. So is this the most practical vehicle? Probably not, but the fun that we actually have traveling around Scotland, photographing and chatting to people, it's amazing how many people that you talk to have owned a VW of some sort or another, whether it's a Beetle, a campervan, something more modern. And ideal for sleeping. When we're out photographing, we've got everything that we actually need, and I've had so much fun out of her. But anyway, here she is, our 1966 VW split screen campervan. Enjoyed this episode of the vlog. A little bit different this episode, and I hope you've enjoyed the story of Hampton. And if you have, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment below. If you've had a VW campervan or a VW Beetle, then please drop me a comment below, let me know, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.